This is the $599 GoTrax Dolphin. But what do you get in 2024 for $599 on an e-bike? Well, you might actually be surprised. In today's video, we're gonna do a full review of this bike, take it out on the road to see how it performs, and then at the very end, we're gonna find out if the GoTrax Dolphin is worth your $599. All that and more coming up on today's episode of Hobart's Reviews. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so up front, we've got a 26-inch wheel. We've got our front disc brakes, which have made no noise and needed no adjusting since I've got them, which is really nice. Also, you get front suspension. Now, it's not adjustable, but it is front suspension, and it's way better than nothing. We'll have to see how well it does when we go out on the ride. You get a front headlight up front, which you can control from your control panel in the cockpit. You'll also have this logo, the GoTrax logo up front. I think all the cabling looks really nice. It's all held together by zip ties and cabling down here to keep everything looking good, so I really like that. Down here on the side, you've got your charging port right here, and then this button right here is the button that you're gonna push along with using this key to remove your battery. So you put the key in, you turn it, you push this button, and voila, the battery comes out. You can bring it inside and charge it, and when you're ready to ride, just bring it back outside again, put it in, lock it down, and you're ready to go. So removable battery, a feature you're gonna find on much more expensive e-bikes. Now, working our way down here, you got this nice comfortable seat here. It's got adjustability, a lot of adjustability, and you don't need any tools in order to adjust it, which is really nice. Taking a look back here, we've got a nice long kickstand, so it doesn't allow the bike to lean a bunch, and you've got your rear disc brakes in the back. Right there is your GoTrax 350 watt motor right there in the back hub, and then your 7-speed Shimano shifter. You've got plenty of gears on this bike to be able to still pedal when you're in full pedal assist mode at 20 miles an hour, which I really like as well. Well, that's a quick overview of the bike. Let's jump up into the cockpit and see what we got up there. All right, so starting off on the left here, we've got nice grippy grips. It's about 100 degrees out here today. My hands are slippery, and I still have nice grip. Now, you do have a Allen key right there, so if you want to adjust them or remove them and put new ones on, you can do that easily without having to peel them off. They're not glued on. You just got to loosen up that hex key. You got your front brakes here on the left. You have a 0 start thumb throttle here. So this comes in handy when you are in, say, gear mode 7, which is the hardest to pedal on, and you're at a stoplight and you need to go real quick. It's really hard to get pedaling. You could use this 0 start throttle here to get you going so that you can finish crossing the street with your pedals. Over here is the very simple control panel. Again, GoTrax trying to keep the cost down, so we don't have a nice big LCD screen. But you do have this control panel, and I'll show you how to use it real quick. Long press the power button, and that's going to turn on the bike. Every time you turn it on, it will be in pedal assist 0, so you'll need to go either up or down. From here, you can only go up, so up to 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, and the down arrow will bring you back down to 0. Now, you have a headlight that I showed you already, so to turn your headlight on, you just long press your up button, and the headlight goes on as it's indicated right there, and you long press it again for it to go off. Now, this also has a boost mode that they call it, 3.7 mile an hour boost mode. And the way that you enable that is by holding this down button for 2 to 3 seconds. Now, I just found out about this. I have not used it yet, so we're gonna learn together when we go out on a ride how this thing works and if it works. And over on the right side, we've got our Shimano 7-speed shifter. This black lever up here is gonna go from 7 down to 1. And then you use this button right here to go from 1 to 7. And then of course you've got your rear disc brakes over here. You do have adjustability in the handlebars. You can adjust them here to tilt them forward or back, or I should say rotate them. And then here on the neck, you have another adjustment to be able to tilt the handlebars front and back on the neck. Now at first I thought it was gonna be this guy right here, this little hex key, but I found out later on it's actually this guy up front that adjusts that. These don't do anything. So use your Allen key up front if you want to pivot your handlebars or the neck forward and back. So that's a look at the cockpit. That's an overview of the GoTrax Dolphin. Let's head out on the road and see how this baby performs. All right, guys, well, this is normally where I do an acceleration test, but this bike has 350 watt motor and it's not built to accelerate. So we're gonna ixnay the acceleration test and just go ahead and get started on a ride. Let's go. Now, the one thing that I wish this thing had is a speedometer, because it says it goes 20 miles an hour and I have no idea how fast I'm going. Now, I have pulled my phone out and I do have the GPS going, so we're gonna find out how fast we went top speed when we get done with our ride. And of course, we're also gonna find out the range. So GoTrax says that we're gonna get about 15 miles of range if we use the throttle all the time, which I like to do, and up to 30 miles of range if you're in pedal assist 1. And I'm gonna do a mixture of pedaling and using the throttle. I am in pedal assist 5. I'm not gonna be going too slow, but this should give you a good idea of what you might get in the real world if you're riding like me. Now, we do have front suspension on here, so this curb, yeah, shouldn't be too bad. It's not too bad. It doesn't have rear suspension, but that helps with that initial shock when you're going over bumps and curves and things like that. Now, when accelerating, I feel like the bike goes faster when I pedal than when I just hit the throttle on its own. I'm not quite sure why, but it just feels like it gets up and goes a little bit quicker when you're pedaling it. Now, speaking of pedaling, this is as fast as it's going to be asking me to pedal, which is good, because in some cases you're riding some of these bikes that the gears just don't match up with the speed. And so by the time you get to speed mode 3 or 4, you're pedaling so fast that it's just not worth it, and you just might as well go to the throttle. You could still basically use this like a bike and get your exercise. All right, so let's go ahead and try a hill test here. It's gonna be in the grass, so we're gonna put this to the test. I didn't see anything on their website about what they say that this thing can go up. It doesn't mention any hills. It does only have a 350 watt motor. I'm gonna see in gear 7 pedaling if I'm able to get up this grass hill right here. It's like a berm right here in front of me. It's pretty steep, probably about as tall as I am from down here, so maybe a 6-foot berm or so. So let's go ahead and give it a try. Full pedal assist mode and see if we can get up it. Let's go. Come on, motor, kick in, baby. Kick in. Yeah! No problem. All right, let's ride down the berm and see how it does. So, riding in some grass. I'm in pedal assist 5, gear 7, so the hardest gear. Still riding in grass, no problem. Very cool. Woohoo! Whoa! All right, getting my workout today. All right, let's go ahead and do a brake test. We got front and rear disc brakes. I'm going about 20 miles an hour. I don't really know, but I'm gonna slam on both brakes and see what happens. Let's go. All right. Well, the first thing is we didn't leave any kind of trail, so it didn't lock them up, which I kind of like because that can get dangerous sometimes. But it did take a little while to slow down, but we'll give that a 5 stars on not locking up and sliding, but maybe a 3 stars on stopping distance. Let's go ahead and try one more. Full speed, hit the brakes. Okay, I'm not gonna be mad at that. You hear that? So there's some kind of vibration that happens during acceleration, and I can't seem to find out what it is. Everything seems to be tight, and it's only during certain parts of the acceleration when the harmonics are just right, you know what I mean? Now, once you're going the full speed here, you don't necessarily have to keep up with the pedaling. You could go slow like I'm doing right here, and I'm still holding top speed. So this is not a torque sensor. This is gonna be a cadence sensor. And that means that anytime you move your feet, it's gonna give you the full blast. Whereas a torque sensor is based on the torque that you give it. So one thing about these cadence sensors is they don't always start and stop when you start and stop pedaling. So when you start pedaling, it senses that you're pedaling and gives you throttle. But that can take a couple of seconds for it to engage. And the same goes for when you stop pedaling. When you stop pedaling, it says, oh, wait a minute, you've stopped pedaling. And so it lets off the throttle. But right there, you could see for a couple seconds, it's still going, stop. Watch my feet. When I stop my feet, ready? Still throttle, stop. So it takes a couple of seconds for the throttle to stop moving. And what that means is when you're coming up to an area where you need to stop, make sure you have enough time, let off the pedaling, make sure that throttle disengages, and then maybe do the rest of it with your thumb, just to make sure that you don't get into a position where you're going too fast, coming up to an intersection, and you get in an accident. Whoa, there it is right there. So I was coming up to that sidewalk curve, and I didn't slow my pedaling down quick enough, and the bike kept going into that turn, and I had to hit the brakes. So again, you gotta be careful. You gotta make sure that you're letting off that pedaling a couple seconds before you really need to, just to make sure that that throttle stops going. That's one of the downsides to the cadence sensor. It doesn't really know the torque you're giving it. It just knows when it's on and when it's off. All right, so I stopped to get some water, and I wanted to check on our distance and our speed so far, and it says we've gone 5.12 miles, but it also says we've had a max speed of 63 miles an hour, and unless this is the fastest e-bike on the planet, I don't think that's possible. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop this trip, start a new one, and we'll add that 5.12 miles onto the end when we get to the end of the video and get our range total. All right, so we just did about, what, 5 miles or so? I was just telling you. And we're about 3 battery bars left, 3 battery bars left, and we've gone 5.12 miles, maybe 5.5 by now. All right, well, this does have the beach cruiser handlebars, so what do you say? Let's stick it on some gravel sand and see how it does. One thing we have here in Florida is beautiful golf courses, especially at PGA National, which is where I do a lot of my riding. See how it does on golf course grass. This is like carpet. What kind of speed can we hold here? Whoa, whoa, here we go. Whoa. I wasn't sure if there was a bunker behind that. I've had that happen before, and there was a hole where I thought there was a hill. All right, I don't think anybody's around. You want to go ahead and try this as a hill test? See if we can get up this hill right here. Sorry, geese, we're in the hill test. Oh, yeah, baby, I was able to get up that no problem. Now, how well did the brakes work? Ah! So, you know, for a 350 watt e-bike in gear number 7, I'm still able to get up this green. Ready? Here we go. Let's try it again from a stop. Man, it's got some power. Not bad. All right, let's go ahead and get out of here before we get in trouble. So I got the boost mode enabled right now, and I am not touching anything. I am not touching the throttle. I am not pedaling, and I'm staying at speed. So it's kind of like cruise control, I guess, in a way, right? Let's see. If I hit the brakes, it does disengage. Let me go ahead and long press the down button again. And so it's not doing anything except for something with my speed modes. All right, so if we're throttling and we hit the button, aha, there we are. All right, so it doesn't work when you're pedaling, but if you're hitting the throttle and you touch the down button and hold it for 2 to 3 seconds, it keeps you where you're at. I'm not touching anything. Now, I'm not sure if it's gonna get us 3.7 miles an hour, being that we're down to 2 battery lives, but I guess that's how it works. All right, so I'm gonna be under throttle. I'm gonna long press the down button, and then I'm gonna let go, and now we're continuing like we're in cruise control at the same speed. Now, to disengage, I think you're gonna long press the down button twice, yep, or hit your brakes, and that will disengage whatever mode we're going into. Long press, let go. So it even accelerates it too. It doesn't just hold it where you're at. I'm still accelerating right now, holding nothing, doing nothing. Wow, that's pretty cool. I like it. We're holding at 2 battery bars. I'm guessing we're gonna be close to around 10 miles, I don't know. We'll have to check that here in a few minutes, but I still gotta ride around some more and waste some more battery. Now, this is one of those perfect instances where you wanna use your throttle. You're sitting at a stoplight, you gotta cross, you're in gear number 7, it's hard to pedal, so I hit my throttle, let the bike get me going. Now that I can pedal, we're good to go. Definitely can feel that acceleration backing off quite a bit. I'm under full throttle right now, barely moving. I'm not quite sure what happens. Is it gonna blink? Is it just gonna shut off? I don't know. You know what, I'm gonna try something dangerous. Don't try this at home. I'm gonna get out my phone while I'm riding. So it says we're only doing 18 miles an hour right now. So there is a speed back off, 19 miles an hour. So as we get lower in battery, we're gonna lose some of that top speed. All right, I think I've officially killed this battery. I'm under full throttle right now. Only going a few miles an hour. All right, so now that we've ran this thing all the way down from full to empty, let's see what we're working with. So originally we had 5.12 miles before I reset the GPS clock here. So we'll take that and we'll add it to 9.22 miles. And it looks like we're at about 14.3, 14.4 miles. So just under 15 miles. And that is a pedal assist 5 and a mixture of throttle and pedaling. And I'm about 200 pounds. And that's pretty good. That's actually around what the manufacturer was saying at about 15 miles when you're using the throttle. I think I used the throttle more than I pedaled. That concludes our ride today, so let's go ahead and check out my pros and cons. All right, so pro number 1 is going to be the price. $599 for this. You're getting a lot of bike for the price. And do you remember just a couple of years ago when those electric bikes came out and they were $999? They were the most affordable e-bike you could get and everybody wanted them. Well, that's not the case anymore. Just a couple of years later, look where we're at here. So price is definitely pro number 1. Pro 2 is going to be these handlebars. I love the cruiser handlebars. They're so much more comfortable than the mountain bike bars or the straight across bars. So I love these handlebars. Pro number 3 is that removable battery. So that's a feature you're going to find on much more expensive e-bikes. And the fact that GoTrax gave that to us here on a $599 bike, definitely a pro. I like that we have front suspension. I wish we had some rear suspension, but we do have front suspension and it did really well when we were out on the ride. Also, we get a headlight for riding at night. I wish we had a rear tail light so that we could be fully lit. I love to ride at night, and so I would have to add a tail light to the seat post back here to make sure that I'm lit up. So I wish we had a tail light, but they did give us a front headlight, and that's all controlled up here. What else do I like about it? I love that the seat is very comfortable. As I said, 7 out of 8 on the comfort level. Yes, after 14 miles, my butt did hurt. But in the first few miles, this is not a seat that you're gonna be like, all right, I gotta get off of this thing. I can't do it anymore. It's a nice, comfortable seat, and you get plenty of room for adjustment for different height riders. So I like that as well. Oh, I also like that we have cruise control. I don't know if it's meant to be cruise control. It's supposed to be boost mode, where it gives you 3.7 mile an hour more in speed. Now, I did some testing of that off camera, and I did not get any faster than 20 miles an hour. So I'm gonna call it cruise control for now, which, as you saw during the ride, you just pull the throttle down, hold the down button for a couple seconds, and the bike goes on its own until you hit the brakes and stop it. So I like that we have cruise control. Now, I already told you a couple of my wish lists. I wish we had a taillight. I wish that we had back suspension. But another thing that I wish we had up front here is a speedometer. So I know we're trying to keep the price down, and you don't give us a screen. I get that, but now I'm gonna have to put some kind of phone holder on here and use my phone as a speedometer because I don't know how fast I'm going. It's not super important, but if I had a wish, it would be to have just a little speedometer on there so that I could see how fast we're going. Other than that, I don't got anything bad to say about it. It's a simple, minimalistic bike. It gets you to 20 miles an hour. It gets you 15 miles of range. I thought that was also another pro for such a small battery. It's in for $599, you can't go wrong. So if you have any questions or comments about the GoTrax Dolphin, go ahead and feel free to leave them below. Also hit that like and subscribe if I've earned it today. And I'll leave a link for this guy down below if you want to go ahead and purchase one, which I highly recommend it, especially for the price. You're getting a really good deal for 599 bucks. Well, that's all the time I've got for you today, my friends. My name is Hobart for Hobart's Reviews and the GoTrax Dolphin. We'll see you next time.